EASIT, Easy Access for Social Inclusion Training.
Europeana, the 11th of November 2020. Easy language in audiovisual content. Anna Matamala. Anna.matamala@uab.cat. Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona.
Hello, my name is Anna Matamala. I am a lecturer at Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona, and my main research topics are audiovisual translation and media accessibility. I am here today to talk to you about how easy language could be used in audiovisual content. And to do so, I will briefly present you the EASIT project. EASIT stands for Easy Access for Social Inclusion Training. It is an Erasmus Plus project that started in September 2018 and will last until August 2021. The project is led by Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona. In fact, I am the main researcher, and the consortium is made up of different partners. We have universities, Universidade de Vigo in Spain, Università degli Studi di Trieste in Italy, SDI München and Hildesheim University, both in Germany. We have user associations such as the National Association of Dyslexia in Sweden, Dyslexieverbundet, and Zavodriza in Slovenia, because in the project we truly believe in the slogan, "Nothing about us without us." And we also have a broadcaster, RTV Slovenia. Well, let me explain you how this project started. As you probably know, there are different ways to make written content easier to understand. You have probably heard about easy to read or about plain language. Easy to read makes text easier to read and understand by using specific linguistic features, a specific text presentation, a special layout, by adding images that enhance understanding, etc. Easy to read has traditionally been addressed to persons with reading difficulties and persons with cognitive disabilities. Plain language, on the other hand, is another type of language which enhances comprehension, but the degree of simplification is not as high as in easy to read. Well, you have probably heard about plain language in legal or administrative contexts, and well, we definitely all need plain language in our agreements to understand what we are committing to. Anyway, as Professor Maas at University of Hildesheim states, easy to read or easy language and plain language are different language varieties in a continuum that aims to make content easier to perceive and to understand. So in the EASIT project, we finally decided to use an umbrella term, which is easy to understand language. The thing is that we found the topic of easy to understand language a fascinating one, but most of the literature focused on written texts. As I told you before, my research group, Transmedia Catalonia, focuses on audiovisual media, and we research other access services such as subtitles or audio descriptions. So we asked ourselves, can audiovisual texts be made easier to understand? For instance, could we have easy news on a website? And I'm not referring here to news addressed to children. I'm referring to news addressed to adults. And still another question, can access service in audiovisual content, such as subtitles or audio descriptions, be made easier to understand? Well, these were some of the questions we asked ourselves at the beginning. Based on this, we put a proposal. We got funding, and here's what we have been doing so far in the first 2 years of this 3-year project. Well, first of all, we analyzed the situation in Europe in relation to easy to understand language, both in terms of practice and training. 128 participants replied to our survey, whose results you can access on the project website in open access. This is what we call Intellectual Output 1, IO1, in the project terminology. And as I said, you have the report on the project website. Secondly, we research how the concept of easy to understand language, meaning both easy to read and play language, as I said before, could be transferred into the audiovisual world. We held focus groups and interviews, and well, it was really interesting to put together two worlds that have lived apart until now, that of audiovisual translation and easy to understand language. And we saw some potential in providing simplified subtitles and also easier to understand audio description, but we also identify some challenges, and all this is explained. The results are available in the report of what we call IO2, Intellectual Output 2. Then we defined 3 professional profiles we wanted to focus on. I have to say here that Erasmus Plus projects are educational projects and not purely research or technology focused projects. So our interest in defining new professional profiles and creating training materials is also linked to the type of funding we got. So the 3 professional profiles we proposed were the expert on easy to understand subtitles, the expert on easy to understand audio description, and the expert on easy to understand audiovisual journalism. The choice of these profiles also was very much related to the expertise of the consortium and to the relationship with previous projects. For each of these profiles I've mentioned, we generated a skills card, a list of the skills the professional should have. The skills card includes 3 blocks or units shared by the 3 profiles, and then one specific block or unit which is unique for each of the profile. And again, you can check all these, you can read the report on our website. This is what we call IO3. The next step in the project was to design a curriculum to train these professionals, which of course was very much related to the skills card. The initial idea was to publish a proposal that could be implemented by anyone, but in the end, we came up with 2 suggestions, with 2 proposals. A proposal for a MOOC, a massive open online course, which can work as a general introduction to the topic with a vocational approach, I would say, and a proposal for a university course. I have to say that we are not implementing the proposals in the project, but you can access a thorough description of the proposals on our website. So any company, any university wishing to implement them, they are welcome to do so. And well, where are we now in the project? Well, we are in the last year. We are working on the last 2 building blocks visit. On the one hand, we are discussing how the training provided could be certified. We are analyzing how certification takes place in both vocational and university environments across different countries, and we will come up with a list of suggestions. On the other hand, we are developing the training materials that will be open access. And these materials are split into different units. Let me tell you about it. We've got Unit 1, Media Accessibility. Unit 3, Unit 2, Easy to Understand Language. Unit 3, which is made up of 3 different units depending on the profile we're addressing. So we have a unit on easy to understand and subtitling, a unit on easy to understand and audio description, a unit on easy to understand and audiovisual journalism, and then we have Unit 4, the profession. And for each of these units, we are producing different types of content. We're producing video lectures. These are short 5-minute videos, approximately, that deal with the main aspects of a topic. They are based on a slide presentation and the face of the lecture is visible. We will offer access, in this case, to the slides, to the video presentation, to a podcast with the audio only, to a transcript, and to the subtitles for all video lectures. We are also producing other videos, meaning videos with a more flexible format, including samples, interviews, etc. We're also producing for each unit a reading list with the main references. We are generating additional materials, online content that can support each unit. And also for each unit, we are producing tasks, suggested activities to be done in class or as evaluation activities, including multiple choice questionnaires. Well, as I speak, we are producing these materials, which will be available for free and in open access next summer. And there are many, many ways to use these materials. If you are a self-learner, you may want to watch the video lectures at your own pace. If you are a lecturer, you may want to include that content or part of that content into one of your courses, or you may want to create a new course using our materials. You will be free to do so. They will be open access and free, so just let us know. To conclude, I would like to say that if you want to keep updated on the EASIT project, you can visit our website, paginas.uab.cat/EASIT, and you can also follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, EASIT project. We also have what we call a stakeholders list, a mailing list, where I can add your name if you want to keep you updated about the project. Just email me at anna.matamala@uab.cat and I will include you in the list. Thank you very much for listening, and I will be glad to answer any questions you may have.
The project EASIT has received funding from the European Commission under the Erasmus Plus Strategic Partnerships for Higher Education Programme, Grant Agreement 2018-1 ES01 KA203 05275. The European Commission's support for the production of this publication does not constitute an endorsement of the contents, which reflect the views only of the authors, and the Commission cannot be held responsible for any use which may be made of the information contained therein. This work is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Share Alike 4.0 International License. Partners of the EASIT project: Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona, Università degli Studi di Trieste, Universidade de Vigo, Stiftung Universität Hildesheim, SDI München, Dyslexie Verbundet, Radio Televizija Slovenija, Zavod RISA. EASIT, Easy Access for Social Inclusion Training.